Hi, my name is Jessica Pack, and this is my reflection for Chapter 9, Patterns of Emergence from Pierce's book. This is for EDTECH 531. In this chapter, I was totally fascinated because of all of the different topics that were covered. Last week, I learned a lot about avatars, and this week, I learned a lot about what I think I'm pronouncing correctly, the ludosphere, which is the idea that virtual worlds are made up of a larger framework, essentially, or at least connect in a larger framework of all of the virtual worlds together. So the author described the virtual world as like a magic circle where there's the suspension of disbelief and players agree to engage in play according to a set of rules that are not necessarily the rules of the regular world. So I thought that was really interesting, the idea that all of those different virtual worlds for all of those different games actually connect within the ludosphere. And she mentioned specifically a connection to anthropology in the idea that all world cultures should be viewed through a global perspective. So I thought that was super impactful and powerful to me, because I've noticed among gamers as like a culture or a breed of gamer, that they're all very supportive of each other no matter what game they play. Because the more my colleagues have found out that I'm taking this class, that I might mention Minecraft or something that I've been learning about just in regular collegial conversation, I found out that the teacher across the hall from me is like level 80 warrior or mage or something in World of Warcraft, and I never would have really known that about her if I hadn't introduced the topic of gaming. So I can see how, even though we're not currently engaging in the same game, there's still a connection between her experience in World of Warcraft and what I've been experiencing as a new player of Minecraft on the computer. So I thought that that was really interesting. And then today, actually in social studies, I was teaching about early man and the agricultural revolution. And some of my students immediately made the connection to survival mode in Minecraft, which was super validating, because that was totally what my first thought was after the first time I played in survival mode. It was just the understanding like, oh my gosh, this is totally early history happening, and that would be really fun to use in the classroom. So we had some great discussions centered around that as well. And I noticed that the kids in the room who I know play a lot of other types of games were very receptive to what the Minecraft kids had to say, even though they personally don't play Minecraft. So I think I saw the ludosphere in action, and that was really kind of a cool moment to see what I'm reading about in Pierce's text sort of enacted in real life. Let's see. Something else that I found really interesting was just the idea that we build a sense of identity through the games that we play. And Pierce described how the games have built-in mechanisms to support the development of that identity and to support the idea of sort of like a group connection. So she mentioned specifically guilds and clans in some types of gaming, and I've totally seen that as well. Because the kids find out which teachers play Clash of Clans, and it becomes very important to belong to the same clan as the teacher. And just for myself, I played Pokemon Go over the summer, and the first question all of my kiddos asked me when they came back to the classroom was, what team are you on? So that was a super important question for them to know, and that kind of came across to me in what Pierce was saying. She talked about how friendships and shared play experiences and values also sort of mimic the real life connections that players can make, and how they usually establish some mode of communication outside of the game, or some way to be able to communicate during gameplay, which makes sense to me as well, because my husband was playing an iPhone game, and then they were on also another third-party app to be able to coordinate attacks within their guild. And at the time, a couple summers ago, that didn't really make sense to me, why you would need more than one app and how you were coordinating things with people. But now that I'm taking this course, that really makes a lot more sense to me. So I kind of feel like I'm having all of these little aha moments as I'm reading and as I'm playing more, and it's making me more and more excited about the potential of this medium. So The last thing that I was totally stoked about was when I started reading about intersubjective flow, because I think I have experienced that. When I was building my Parthenon project for Minecraft, I completely consumed an entire Saturday and didn't even really realize that I was doing it until it had already happened. So I started building at 9:30 in the morning, and I didn't really stop until 9:30 at night. And the quest said it would only take 179 minutes. And yeah, no, that's not really what happened. So I killed a lot of time that way, and I felt really good about it and productive. And I think that may have been intersubjective flow in action. For my education connection with that one, I would say that sounds a lot like the educational theorist Vygotsky talking about the zone of proximal development. So that's kind of my connection there, the idea that we need to be challenged a little bit, but the challenge also needs to be reachable, like within our ability level to actually achieve. So it's that really fine balance, I guess, between what your ability is and the amount of time that you're spending playing. All of that kind of comes into play together. So those are my thoughts on chapter 9, and I'm really looking forward to class tonight. Thank you so much.